Welcome to today's Fast Track episode of the Growth Zone. The Fast Track is a concept that provides a quick, fast mind feeding for you. Depending whether you listen to it in the morning or in the evening or even midday, you can use it to have some new ideas to guide you through the day. So, what's our topic today? It's about how to pick out the best stocks to trade by filtering news and marketing noise. So, when you are able to separate pure sales promotions from the public relations content that is highlighting why a company is doing well, then you are able to stop following the masses. When people invest in stocks just because everybody else is doing this, then they will most likely be going to lose money. The problem with marketing and sales in relation to public relations is that company representatives and investors with insider knowledge can get themselves into deep trouble. If you do not have access to insider knowledge, then you need to make use of the information that a company's marketing is delivering. Re-engineer the message, financial figures, and sales capabilities to recognize if this might be a good deal. Some might apply if you are considering to go into a joint venture and not sure if your joint venture partner is doing what they claim to be doing. Or maybe they're not actually so profitable or so healthy that eventually might cost you more the deal or even your own business if you are going into a deal with the wrong partners. But why is that actually so important when you think of it about marketing? Because usually we look at marketing, we want to use it to attract people to our businesses, to our offers, opportunities, and then to get them to buy our products. That's why we have usually a department that does marketing and a department or group of people who are focused on sales. They want to close, of course, the deal. They need the best marketing materials so that they can convince as well the people to consider thinking about and then work on them to negotiate the best deal to get them to buy. And the same thing applies as well if you are on the other side and you're looking, okay, do I want to maybe invest in this business? Do I want to buy this stock? Do I want to use the opportunity instead of leaving my money on the savings account? And that's the thing. Many people just follow the flock because there's a big promotion and everybody's saying you have to go and invest in that. The same thing was like with Bitcoin and all these other things, all these telecommunication deregulation situations where big telecom companies were deregulated, which means they were being sold off by the state or by the governments, and people were incited to go and buy this kind of stock. But unfortunately, many of them eventually lost their money because they didn't put the extra effort to consider if everybody else is going into that deal, then the price is going to be artificially increased. And once everybody has bought in, those who were the first, because they were either fast enough or knew ahead or had somehow more capital that it was worth it, they first bought into it, waited till everybody else bought. The prices increased. They took advantage of all the marketing and promotion that was happening by the companies, by the governments and different things. And then they pulled out and sold everything. And those who had put small little packages in, they lost a lot of money because it just wasn't there. The value wasn't there in the relationship to what we needed. So their marketing was really powerful because it got everybody in to buy. But at the end, it burned them. And that's what you don't really want to have, especially if you are maybe as well in the same situation that you say you are marketing your business or your investment opportunities and you're thinking, okay, how can I maybe get the right kind of investors into my business who are going to believe in my vision, my mission, my products, my solutions, my ideas, and are going to stick with me through whatever storm comes ahead. Because with all the different situations that are arising, all the conflicts, the volatility in the markets, volatility in society, the uncertainty of people losing their jobs or being sick or having other kind of issues, whether it's mental or social, financial, other kinds of issues, there is instability. So you have to be able to keep them on board with the right kind of marketing, the right kind of public relations, and all these things that you make them feel comfortable and trust in you. Because, yes, even if you're starting a complete new product, new business, anything that's absolutely new and isn't proven on the market, and it's quite a gamble if you say, well, nobody else has done it. But just look at some of the stocks. For instance, look at Tesla and so on. Everybody said that Elon Musk wouldn't do it. He wouldn't succeed. And he's proven himself that he's succeeding. He's succeeding as well with SpaceX and all his other ventures. It's just that it takes time to build and develop. Just think of it. All these other competitors that are competing with Tesla on the automotive market, they've been on the market for over 60, 80 years or 100 years, some of them, and they haven't innovated in the last 20 years as much and as fast as Elon Musk has innovated by starting from scratch a complete new product in a well-saturated market and showing that he can actually develop a product that's nicely looking, efficient, and is obviously attractive for people who are able to afford a certain price tag. It's not a product that's offered for the consumer market. It's not for the typical Ford Focus or the Kia buyers and so on. It doesn't fit. He has a clear marketing avatar set up who he's actually targeting with his clients. The price tag of an average of about 80,000 to 100,000 is quite a definite high price tag that can compete with products of other big brands. And yeah, so looking at that, you are able actually, if you are doing your marketing research ahead of time before you start going onto the market, you have to filter out all the marketing noise that these companies are sending out, even if it's other startups, and then try to find out what's really happening, what's really has been achieved by them, and what's just hot air, because that's otherwise something that might indicate where there's as well potential for you. Maybe to tap in, whether it's something that you have maybe a better idea how to solve the problem, or whether you're actually noticing what's really not happening. Because some of the marketing, it isn't automatically like a 100% promise that they have to deliver on it. They are promoting and giving all sorts of different kinds of messages that is leading people into all sorts of directions. And the news, the same thing. Oh yeah, there's a car somewhere burning, then people of course like to see all this kind of news about that because it's something interesting. Life is sometimes for some people boring if they don't know what to do after 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon after they finish work. But entrepreneurs don't usually have these issues because they're more or less most of the day using it for business and in between having time for family and other kind of activities. Whether it's sailing, flying, or having other hobbies and so on. There's plenty of stuff that entrepreneurs do as well. They live as well their lives and aren't slaves of their own business, but they have definitely made a choice how to live. So if you go and look at that, if you are actually trying to reach an investor who has a certain capital and you're trying to market them, then you have to see, okay, how can you find them? Where are they? And how can you go and get their attention so that all the noise that's happening around them and happening around you is actually filtered out, and it allows you to go and offer your opportunities in the way that person will get an interest, will decide to actually invest time to look at your offer, to then eventually consider even investing more time to really going and looking deeper and understanding where the value is and how trustworthy the whole offer is, so that this person actually gives you an opportunity to benefit from the assets that he can provide you. And it's not just assets as financial thing. It's about the assets that he can or she can offer you in money, in contacts, in resources, any kind of thing that might help you. Even if the person has maybe let's say, a transport company, a logistics company, maybe this person can help you to transport your product somewhere else than that. There's lots of opportunities there where they can actually help you and get you further on where you want to go. And that's the same thing like with what we started this fast track today, was about filtering out the news and the marketing noise so that we can actually pick out the best stocks. Because if you are wanting to attract investors, you have to put yourself into their position. Imagine how it would feel if you are wanting to invest a large amount of money that you have to invest, and you are wanting to actually find the best deal and not lose all the money. You don't want to invest in stuff that are supposed to be shiny objects but don't have any value and will never have any value. And the same thing, you don't want to pay stuff for the wrong price at a high level, which isn't actually going to deliver anything of advantage in the long term. And yeah, some investors just want to be in it for 3 years, and others are maybe looking towards 10, 20 years. And that's what you see with some of the big investors have been in with Tesla, SpaceX, and other kind of ventures. They see the long-term opportunities. They understand how long it takes to develop a very complex solution, especially when it's technology related on that. Then they are willing to wait and see as well the opportunity when the return of investment will be much, much higher, because when everybody then is buying Tesla at a much higher rate and he has a huge variety of vehicles, it is much more difficult for the traditional companies to actually compete, because they have to redesign everything. They have equipment and everything that's already there, but it's actually available or designed for the old kind of vehicles. They have to totally change the way they have things. They have to change as well their suppliers and all these things. But Alan started already from the very beginning and focusing on the right kind of people who can supply him the right products and as well the knowledge, by hiring the right kind of people. And that's where a venture capital provider or an investor, private investor, is looking to invest maybe $1 million or 50 million, doesn't matter, whatever it is. They're looking to see if you have as well the right structure that you can actually get these things done. You've got the right people and everything, and you offer the best opportunity and chances that it's going to succeed. And that's where you then want to really go and look at it and try to get things done properly, because you have to be ahead of time when you are designing or presenting and developing what you are going to use as a marketing document or as marketing information, and how you're going to compress your information. Because you'll have at the beginning a very short message, then you'll have an overview, and then eventually you'll have a detailed plan. Because of course at the beginning, I'm an investor, you want to get me to invest in your business or your startup, then I just want to know, okay, what's it about? Okay. Then I might be interested and want to read a one-pager. And then I more or less understand, okay, so that's what more or less the idea is, and this is why actually there should be an opportunity in the market. There's obviously a niche, or there's a space, a gap where somebody hasn't been investing. And once I'm deciding, okay, then I can consider definitely investing so and so many millions, then I want to, of course, really go into deep to find out if I actually invest, I'm going to lose all my money, or whether there is some good chance that this will work. Of course, there's always risks with investing. It doesn't matter whether you invest in stocks, in trades, in EFTs, in CDFs, and all the other kind of solutions and products on stock markets. But if you're investing directly into a business, then you are investing in a similar way like the mutual funds as well invest. You've got a foot in the door of this business, and you want to make sure that you don't get crushed because the business just falls apart at the wrong time when you can't have that. So you want to know what's the best thing, you want to understand it and know what's inside, what's going to be the advantage, where's the vision and how it can obviously work. You don't want as an investor to know exactly the formulas and what chemicals and this kind of thing and this you're going to do in the deepest, but you want to more or less have a good feeling that this whole thing might make sense. You might even pass on as an investor this information to your internal accountant or to your technology research person, the person who does some research for you to try to find out, okay, is this really possible? Is there a chance? Or is this just a scam? And then you actually then understand, okay, is it worth it or worth it not? And then you'll be willing to invest the money. So, having put yourself into the position of the investor, you become actually able to filter out all the noise around you, all the noise as well that is coming from other competitors, and then reducing your stress level. Because then you're thinking, wait a minute, there's not a scarcity of assets, not a scarcity of investors. It's just about finding the right people who really believe in what you're doing and have got the necessary capital that you need to get things started, growing and expanding. And that's what then eventually takes you from an idea to a dominating product or service that is in the market and can go from local to global in a way. And even if it's just focused on a local thing because maybe it has certain regionality, it's only needed in that country and so on, then that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But that's what you have to have in mind, is how to filter the noise and the marketing nonsense that's sometimes being put out there in the market. Hope you enjoyed the fast track edition of today. You can follow me as well on Twitter by using the Twitter ID CAPBARTSCH. Yes, that's Cap Bartsch. CAPBARTSCH. See you soon.